Welcome to the Wealthiest, where you will learn the ins and outs about the world's elite, how they live and how they spend their accumulated wealth. Let's get started. Netflix has been giving us all the stuff we so desperately wanted for the past 25 years. Whether it offered our favorite films or their own fresh material, while we watched Netflix and relaxed, there has been a lot going on in the background. But the audience is currently ghosting this medium monster. Below are the factors that caused Netflix to collapse. Sinking ship. You've probably heard rumors of a few different things that Netflix is allegedly going to start doing soon. The loss of your favorite show or film from the platform, a cheaper price for an ad-supported version, or the dreaded crackdown on password sharing could all be contributing factors. Regardless of what you may have heard or experienced, Netflix has lost nearly 1 million customers as a result of the modifications or rumor changes. In the midst of the pandemic, Netflix was booming. Millions of people have little choice but to stay at home and binge watch their favorite shows. At its height, Netflix had a market share of over $300 billion. Today, it dropped 75% to about $80 billion, and the stock price is further declining. Since 2011, this is the business's first significant loss of subscription clientele. Netflix invests $17 billion in original content. It seems expensive to produce Squid Games and Stranger Things. Not to mention that they expect to lose an additional 2 million subscribers this quarter. Harvey Dent is known for saying in The Dark Knight that you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself turn into the villain. In the unique scenario of Netflix, they either die the hero or survive long enough to become the contemporary blockbuster. Ironically, Netflix does not have The Dark Knight available to stream. The notion that Netflix started to feel like they were too big to fail could potentially be a contributing factor in the company's demise. You see, during the beginning of the 2010, Netflix was by a long shot in charge. Their previous and biggest rival, Blockbuster, had been entirely defeated. They had over 25 million subscribers and produced a steady stream of original shows and films that quickly won over viewers. In fact, one of Netflix's initial complaints from viewers was that it quickly canceled their original shows. The executives were investing millions into content in all directions, but as soon they knew it was a hit, they canceled it. As a Netflix original show, acquiring a fourth season was as challenging as traveling to the Ozarks to launder money for a drug cartel. Eventually, they started producing lower quality content, while also increasing prices several times in a short period of time. Even in its heyday, Netflix didn't have it all easy sailing. There were numerous fires that needed to be put out. Netflix has received criticism for its decisions and content in a time when diversity, inclusion, and tolerance have been the norm in the media world, most notably in a number of stand-up specials by the one and only Dave Chappelle. A sizable portion of their viewers felt that Dave's provocative content was transphobic. Not just the viewers, but also a sizable percentage of their staff. The CEO of Netflix reiterated his choice to produce and stream the comedy specials, warning his staff that they were free to find new jobs if they didn't agree with his choices. He should have consulted PR and HR first, though, as the backlash resulted in boycotts, walkouts, and, naturally, a reduction in membership. Ouch, that definitely backfired. Humble beginnings. Those viewers who were born in the 2000s and are watching this video, please bear with me as I will give you a little history lesson. In the early 1900s, there were establishments known as video stores where VHS cassettes and subsequently DVDs could be purchased. You may have ever handled or even used one of these antiquated items, but regardless, you rented these movies from the video store, watched them over the weekend, and then returned them within 24 to 72 hours to avoid being charged a late fee. Today's Netflix is a result of late fees, because Reed Hastings, one of the founders of Netflix, had a VHS video that he failed to return, and the late fee added up to almost $40 in 1997. Mark Randolph, a friend and coworker, was concerned they may both lose their employment as a result of an imminent merger at the time. They therefore wanted to think of a business idea to launch and ultimately decided to create an online mail-in and mail-out video rental service in the style of Blockbuster. Digital video discs were a brand new Japanese innovation that Mark was aware of. Compared to mailing VHS cassettes, this would be more affordable and simpler. They sent themselves a CD, which came intact, and they understood they had a startup. Reed started the company with $1.9 million of his own money and later received contributions from additional investors. Reed had a respectable investment portfolio at the time. By 2000, they were shipping millions of DVDs per day and quickly rose to the top of the list of websites where you could rent movies. Reed and Mark spoke with the CEO of Blockbuster Video. Later in 2000, After a beginning but profitable operation, they suggested selling it to Blockbuster for $50 million. As he declined it, the CEO nearly burst out laughing in their faces. Keep this in mind for a little while later. Jumping ahead a little, in 2003, Mark Randolph sold his shares and minority ownership in Netflix. The very next year, Netflix implemented an innovation that would help them become well known for streaming. In Canada, they started streaming for free on their cheapest subscription tier to PCs. This streams war. If you cut your cable because it was too pricey, raise your hands. Raise your hands if, by the time you realize how many various streaming services you have, the cost to us is comparable to or greater than cable. Welcome to the era of streaming. Netflix was savoring being the largest fish in the pond, vertically integrating and producing their own content. But they weren't the only players in town. Hulu and Amazon Prime Video debuted in 2007 and 2006, respectively. HBO Go and now HBO Max started streaming network-specific content that was still available on cable in 2010. Other significant networks, including Fox, CBS Paramount, and Peacock NBC, did the same. When you sum up all of the recent and intense competition in the streaming market and split it by Netflix losing its unique intellectual property to rival streaming services while also raising prices, the outcome is a significantly smaller market share. Additionally, Netflix's market penetration has essentially achieved its maximum level, with almost everyone having access to the service. Also, Netflix subscribers have grown weary of the company's binge-style content release schedule. At first, the thought of binge-watching your favorite show for countless hours made you feel like a child trapped in a candy store. The viewer is now similar to a child trapped in a candy shop. The rumors that Netflix will crack down on password sharing must also be harming their membership figures. We all simply exchange passwords in the group chat while putting a cap on how many people can access each account. In essence, Netflix is driving away the subscriptions they sorely need. The goal is to restrict the number of devices members can have logged into Netflix at once. This policy has already been put to the test by Netflix, and the outcomes have been disastrous. What is Netflix? Netflix's future isn't looking as promising as their shareholders would want, with consumer fatigue running rampant and a less than stellar assortment of media IP. The stock is currently down significantly from its peak of $700 per share in November 2022, selling at roughly $311 per share. From the sound of it, Netflix will soon be a thing of the past with newer and better streaming options for customers without the headache of lost series or fluctuating schedules. That is all we know so far. As we have more information, we will create an amazing overview for our subscribers. Do you think Netflix will last, or will we soon be calling Netflix the next net flop? Please comment below. If you love the content, please like and subscribe, as it helps our channel grow. We look forward to seeing you in our next blockbuster. Until then, dream big.